Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. Near the northern Oregon coast, you'll find this little gem of a casual hike. It's just over 3 miles to hike up to Soapstone Lake, loop around it, and come back. And you'll only do about 500 feet of climbing along the way. This little trail has a lot of character and can be enjoyed almost any time. You can catch cutthroat trout in Soapstone Lake, so you might bring your pole if that's your thing. Also keep in mind this area is pretty swampy, so you might be assaulted by bugs if you visit in the warm season. So you might want to bring some repellent or just visit in the winter. The trailhead for this hike is only about 30 minutes from Seaside if you happen to be on the coast. But if you're coming from the Portland area, it's more like an hour and a half. Either way, you travel on Highway 26 until you reach Highway 53 and turn south. From there, it's less than 5 miles before you see a sign for Soapstone Lake and gravel road off to the left you'll turn onto. Follow this road just a short distance down a hill to the trailhead. The first section of the hike takes us slightly downhill to a creek, then the trail climbs up more steeply towards the lake. You reach the lake loop after about a mile. After climbing up away from the trailhead a bit, the descent begins through the mossy forest, assisted by a few small bridges. Right here?
In this grass.
It's nice and tall.
Look at all these spidey webs.
Shortly before approaching the creek crossing, you'll pass by a grassy area spotted with cherry trees. This used to be the site of an old homestead built in the 1920s, but is now dismantled. Continue on crossing Soapstone's Creek, after which you ascend many railroad tie steps, beginning your ascent towards the lake. Shortly after, you approach the T-junction for the loop. The next section takes us on a loop around Soapstone Lake before we return to the junction and head back out. In this guide, we'll go counterclockwise around the lake, so we take a right at the junction, which takes us up to a clearing overlooking the lake. As you continue past that view, watch for a fork in the trail where you'll want to keep to the left towards the stairs to keep on the trail around the lake. From here you climb a bit higher above the lake into a particularly verdant, lush area of the forest. After following the ridge for a bit, the trail descends back towards the lake. You approach this far end of the lake and a long platform offering you mud-free passage across the swampy area to the other side of the lake. This area seems flush with life even in winter. Rough-skinned newts are only one of the many denizens here. When you arrive back at the other end of the lake where it outflows, a bridge was damaged and unsafe here during my visit. It may be repaired eventually, but either way, it is bypassed easy enough with some handy logs. Soon after, you head right at the T-junction and you're on your way back. The Soapstone Lake Trail terrain is easily traversed, with nothing to hinder you but a little mud at times. The low elevation coastal climate makes it pretty worry-free for elements too. The distance and elevation gain on this hike are pretty mild for a day hike, making this trip not very strenuous at all. That wraps up this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I hope I have or will soon help you pick your next trail to explore. I scouted this trail in December of 2021, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any changes people might like to know about, please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. I've shown some of the beautiful sights of this trail in what feeble capacity a video can render. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all of your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or videos. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.